And welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here to support you in your life journey. I am live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time, many times on Instagram at the same time. I'm on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, or X now. So, with that, I want you to remember that for one, I'm making a disclosure here. Whatever I say is for supporting you because of the fact that you have your own stories, your own belief systems. I'm just a perspective to help you go through your life. So I want you to remember your truth is your truth, but I'm here to support you in bringing in some new knowings. So, welcome to my show. Today's show is going to be designated to being here for Memorial Day. And Memorial Day is coming up, but we also have this full moon tomorrow, the 23rd. So the 23rd is, oh my gosh, I just got hit. That is, I'm going to go see my kid, and it's uh, exactly 2 months before her birthday. So what a blessing I'm going to be blessing her with. Just realized that. Okay, so oh my gosh. And I just got to say that there's miracles in the air if you're willing to receive them. And that's a little one, right? Even though it's 2 months ahead, eh, it is a dance, right? So going into this, how do you celebrate Memorial's Day? Well, I know a lot of us celebrate it by having picnics and, just getting together, camping trips. It's a 3-day weekend. Some of us don't celebrate Memorial Day for what it really is, which is remembering those who have served. And I want to say right now, thank you for everyone who has served. Firemen, police, fire, police. It's not men anymore. It's everybody. Whenever I say man, it's not about man. It's about everybody. Please know that I'm very open to every being that can be represented here. It's just the language. And I want to honor the language that is changing, but sometimes, life happens. So going into this, that we all are a part of this dance of Memorial Day. And I want to say that I honor everybody who's been in any um, service, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Marine, um, yeah, and I'm forgetting a couple of them. Air Force, Marine, yeah, Army, and there's one more. And I just want to say that no matter where you're at, that you are very much a part of our history. And I have a remembrance of being an angel on a war field. And me being the angel on a war field, that it was one of those memories I have of whispering on in someone's ear, come on, you can get over there. You can get over there. And I know that I don't remember what side I was on. It was about the man. It was about the person. It was about the journey. And I was there helping, whispering in their ear as the angel that I was in another lifetime. And I forget what war it was. And I'm hearing it was like World War I or something like that. That I was just this, moment where I was whispering in their ears or helping their soul go forward or going into there. And hi, everybody who's joining me. I know sometimes it takes a little while for live to be registered as live. But, going into this, so me being an angel in another lifetime, that I remember helping people, either their souls lift up or giving them that push to get to the bunker on the, if they were shot or if they were like trying to crawl across the field, because, when you have bullets and everything going over you and bombs going off and air and grenades going off, it's a very scary place. And I can honor those people who were in service during those scary times because when we're in that, and I remember that vibration of being in that, and going into this, that we get into these stories of being of service, and that's one thing that I want to honor those that go into services, is that you know us humans us humans hello there, friends, on Instagram, that going into this, that those who serve, it may be a policia, or it might be the fireman, or it might be somebody else, that you know you go in spite of your fear. You do things in spite of your fear. And what a tremendous heroic, I can never say that word, moment that they have. And I just want to honor everybody for who they are. And, even if we're perfectly imperfect, even if we just did it for a year, even if they did it just for a moment, my grandfather would talk about, how his friends, because he was in the Air Force, would would he was of servicing of the airplanes, but he would help the guys get in the airplanes and then watch them fly over the mountain. Not everybody came back. And the grief that these people who survived, the survival guilt that some of them probably have, that it's amazing how they are. And I just want to honor everybody for their grief. And that's one thing that I wanted to talk about today a little bit, is about the grief that we have with those who have lost, because I know that a lot of our service people who are now in service, that they don't always want to stay alive. Many of them have been in a a moment where they can't see beyond their pain and their ache of the post-traumatic syndrome, that going into this, and I can empathize for that moment. But I want everyone, if you are someone who works with PTSD, that you know we get into these moments of how can we survive these moments. And grief is a big part of PTSD, because we're grieving a lot of who we are. Hi, Veronica. We grieve who we used to be. We grieve what life is. We grieve the friends that we lose. We grieve so much. And as we grieve, and we grieve, sometimes, like, I'm just getting a picture when I was writing for this show, that there's many of us who are celebrating at picnics and barbecues and having a family gathering. And then all of a sudden, you just kind of get this overwhelming low, because you wonder how your grandfather happened, or how your story happened, or how this or that happened. And you just kind of wonder who who were they before they had all that grief. Because so many of our service people, they make decisions to go into service when they're like 18, 19 years old. Some people, of some of the wars of the World War Ones and twos, that they decided to go in, they tried to get in before they were even 18, because they had such a drive to support our country. And going into this, that we can never be perfect about how we grieve. And many of us go into grief of remembering our family members, or remembering who this is and that is. And I know that my grandfather, when he talked of that was all he would really say, is that he would watch the planes go over, and not everybody came back, and he was excited for the ones that came back. Sometimes the planes limped over the mountain again, coming back over. They limped, the planes weren't working quite right, because maybe a engine was shot off, or a tip of a wing was shot off, or the tail wing was shot off, or there was a bullet hole somewhere in the middle of the plane. 'Cause not everybody came back alive in the airplanes. You know, there was just this, "Oh my gosh, how do people survive that?" And my grandfather never really talked more about his journey because he would just stop at that sentence. He would wait for the planes to come back over the hill. What a statement. What a statement that is. And I just want to honor everyone who has that kind of a statement that they can't say anything more. And I don't want to spend this whole show on this story because we have much more to talk about on this show. But we go into this story of who we are and what we're at, and many of us have these generations, and I didn't know I was gonna talk about this, but many of us have these generations that, like my grandfather, if I don't talk about my grandfather, it's gonna be lost to my children, and it's gonna be lost to the children of the children. And, these people who, were ahead, like our great-grandfathers and grandmothers and our great-great-grandmothers and grandfathers and the generations before, they really set us up for who we can be today. And like I said, I didn't know I was going to talk about this today because it doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter where you're at. We all have people who have been in service. And in the United States here, we have something called Memorial Day, and then in September it's called Labor Day because we labor for our life. That's the statement, right? It's that honoring for us who work for our life. But going into this, that Memorial Day is about that honoring of the service that we do. So if we can, if you would like to, I would say thank you, to light a candle if you can on Memorial Day for those that you love safely. And know that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, that on Monday, that's Memorial Day in the US here, that, we can all sit in quiet for a minute and just say, thank you. Thank you. And, because even though I, in this body, have not been on a war field, I know that I have spent lifetimes on a war field, and it's not easy. And, as I go back into my past lives and, getting a glimpse of them, that I know even as starships, I was in a war and going forward and doing that. And so you can be in war wherever you're at. You can even be in war with ourselves and that trouble with ourselves. And you know what do we do to ourselves when we're in war for ourselves? And that's where we are in complication. We don't agree with everything that we do. We don't agree with our emotions. We don't agree with all these stories, and we don't agree with what's happening in ourselves and around ourselves, and we argue with that. So, if I can give this to you, I want you to remember that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, that, we are perfectly imperfect where we're at. We are, no mistake, where we're supposed to be. We are doing what we're doing. And like I was talking with a friend today, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, that, that this domino effect of, if this situation didn't happen at this time, and then that situation didn't happen at that time, then this person wouldn't have been in that alignment to meet up with her yesterday. And going into this, that we go into, why does life happen the way it does? Well, it happens the way it does because we make individual choices. We make certain moments where life is happening. We have certain emotions at certain times that trigger us into having different understandings. So, going into this, who are you when where you're at? And it's going to be perfectly imperfect where you're at. So, going into this, that I want everybody to remember that grief is a part of the dance of the world. And right now, a lot of us are feeling very grieving. We're grieving a lot of what's happening in our world, and where are we at and what we're doing. Uh, we can grieve that. We didn't get a chance to go somewhere. We didn't have this happen to ourselves. We didn't have that happen to ourselves. We didn't have this over here happen to ourselves. We didn't have that over there that happened. And oh my gosh, why isn't that happening to me? Well, I know for me that, I have been saying this mantra. I'm asking for miracles in my life. from unpredictable and unknowing ways. I'm out of scarcity. I'm into worthiness. I see myself growing and changing and being amazing as I get to receive the blessings of this world, and I want to give blessings of this world. And this is one way I hope I can bless is to be on live with you so that I can help you with a perspective. And even if this is a dance around, that, going into this, when we're in that grief story, we can even grieve that a relationship didn't make it, or we can grieve that we had a conversation that didn't go the way we wanted it to. So, going into this, it's a chance for us all to understand that life is going to be full of magic. Life is going to be full of unpredictability. Life is going to be full of questions. Life is going to be full of insecurity. Life is going to be full of dot, dot, dot. And when we go through and understand that life is going to be full of dot, 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 that we can hold on to who we are. So, going through the emotions, and that's the thing that when we're getting together with people and we just think of the people that served us, our parents, our grandparents, our stories, and going into this, that how can we negotiate the world we're in? By helping our emotions be felt and heard. Like for me, Memorial Day is going to be one that, even though my father didn't serve, but he served in other ways. He was a chiropractor. He served many people. And I honor him for who he was, because he did help a lot of people who were policemen and firemen and people of war, help their body feel better. And so, I can honor who he was. I can honor my mom for honoring, her father or her it's actually her stepfather, my step grandfather, but at the same time, has been in her life for a long time. That, what do we do when we grieve these people that are around us? For one, when we grieve, it's an emotion that is unpredictably negotiated. When we grieve, it's not an emotion that has a straight line. When we grieve, grief has anger, sadness, frustration, happiness, extremes many times, um, uncertainty. It's a life-altering moment. It's a place where your legs get out from underneath you, and then they finally get planted a little bit later underneath you. We go into a story of who am I? We lose our brains sometimes when we're in grief. We lose our writing, our forward steps many times when we're in grief, and we feel discombobulated many a times. If you know what that word is, it's just feeling totally off. You don't know where you're at. You're just not really here. And going into this, that I want people to feel honored for who they are and what they're doing, because when we're going into a story of wonderment and understanding of life, and we still remember the people that we were around and the people who helped us, that many a times we don't always know how to honor those people, because sometimes, I mean, there's many traditional in many different regions of our world that we do have ways of honoring. But I know for me, like I go up when I'm up by where my parents are in their cemetery is, and I don't always go there because, for one, it's a long ways away, but another one is I know my parents aren't there. They're here with me. Their spirit is here with me. And I do have an altar, a picture of my parents, where I do kind of have a small altar for them. And many traditions of family, we do create altars for our loved ones. So we do celebrate them in a way, but how can we negotiate that story of grief? And it's just feel it. There's no way around grief. You have to walk through it. You can't walk around it. You cannot, I mean, if you put it on the back burner and you say, not right now, not right now, not right now, well, it's going to keep popping up because grief has, I mean, it's like a bulldozer and it's going to bulldoze through whatever you're doing and it's going to sit. And I can honor all the family members who are left after someone who has done service and they have not come home. And I want to honor them too because family, wives, husbands, moms, dads, cousins, sisters, brothers, whoever you are, friends, family, brothers of heart, sisters of heart, whoever it is, and I know I haven't named everybody, grandparents, whoever it is that, we're in this story of who they are. And oh, ouch. So trust yourself that you can get through grief. Trust yourself that you can negotiate your world. Trust yourself that you have the empowerment of doing it. And no matter where you're at and what you're doing, it's time to believe in you and your story and who you are, because no matter where you're at and what you're doing and where things are at and what things are happening and what's going on, life is very unpredictable. But if I can give anybody who is in PTSD and they don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, oh my gosh, if you can please just lift your head up and be who you are and see that there are miracles in this world. And a miracle can be as simple as, like my friend who found the right doctor because of the dominoes that fell just right in her life after ups and downs and ins and outs and ups and downs and ins and outs. Or like me, who, on Facebook, I saw somebody who needed a past life reading, and I got bold and stepped out and said, I do. I don't know who sees that post. I can't be attached to that anymore. I have to trust the process. And so many of us have to step up out of our comfort zone and trust the process when we are in that really heavy depressional moments. So I want you to remember that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, there is miracles in this world. We got to look for them though. We got to trust the process of them. We got to, and I'm saying we gotta. I know that's not proper English, but we have to believe that the next minute is going to be worth it. The next moment, if we can just get up and get out of the house and trust the process, that there's a reason why we're still around. Believe in it. Believe in it. And that's, we don't know what the future is going to hold. We don't know what's going to happen. I know that there's things that are out there that are scary, but life is scary before that. I mean, my parents had having me when the Vietnam War was going on. Or was it the Korean War? One of those during the late 60s that, when we're in that story, they didn't know what my future was going to be. I didn't either. When I thought about, 19 when I was having my kids, in 1993 and 97, that I didn't know what the world was going to be, but I had to trust the process. And here they're now 30 years old and doing their life. We have miracles around us, and it can be a miracle. It's trusting the process. It's trusting who we are. And it's trusting what we're doing. So at this time, I would like to channel a message for you. Now, when I channel, I don't necessarily go out of my body all the way. I am still me, but I channel the message. I channel a clean message. My voice might change a little bit, or how I speak might change a little bit to take on the energy of the one I channel. So going into this, I want everybody to remember that whatever is being said here, that this is a perspective and a perception on life. And I want you to honor your truth. So if you don't believe in anything that I've been saying, I hope that you can help it can help you somewhere in your life. But I would like you to be honored for who you are. So remember, your truth is your truth. I'm just trying to help you move a little bit through your life with a little bit of more lightness. So before I start channeling, remember that whatever emotion that you're in this lifetime, whatever emotion that hits you at this time, anger, sadness, frustration, happiness, joyfulness, excitement, whatever it is, remember that it is perfectly imperfect that what's meant to be here. So be who you need to be when you are. Just remember that if you are in the angry side of grief or you are in the angry side of life, please don't take it out on the ones that are around you. They don't deserve that anger. Even if I'm angry with someone, I try to check back and see what is my intention, what is the story, what is the knowing. So even if I'm angry with someone, I still take a deep breath before I have a conversation. I always check my intention. So it's time to believe in you. And remember that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, you are human, having human experience, having a spiritual awakening, and a spiritual awakening or a spiritual story that is having a human experience. So, no matter where you're at on that spectrum, you're in a perfect place for you at this minute to do what you're doing. Here comes Mother Mary. So Mother Mary is going to be here. Mother Mary is mother. She does not hold to any religion. She doesn't hold to any belief system. She holds to who she is. She owns and claims who she is. And she would like to give you a message. Give me a moment here. Oh, and then after that, I have oracle cards that I'm going to pull. So if you'd like an oracle card reading, I would be grateful to have that. I will not look at my comments during that time, though, while I'm channeling. Ah, dear children of this world, you are in an amazing time for being who you are. It is time for you to ignore and acknowledge where you're at because there's so much going on in your outer world. The news, the stories, the beings. Stay aware of what's going on around you, but do not go into the depths of the this and that and this and that and all that's going on. Try to be grounded in your truth because of the fact that as you go forward in your life, the emotions, the stories, the beings, the knowings. Why did I have to do that over there? Because now I don't have to do that. There's going to be a yes answer for here, but then later you're going to wish you said no, and then there's going to be a no answer that you said because you wish you would have said yes later, and then there's going to be this and there's going to be that, and oh my gosh, oh poof, poof. What can you do with your life right now, my children? I want you to remember that I am always here. My son Jesus is always here with you, and all the archangels. It doesn't matter what you believe in, as this dear one said. It doesn't matter what you believe in because we are always here for you. So as you go forward and as you are with you are in the midst of believing in you. And that's what this whole story of what we are going through in this world right now is for you to discern into what is your truth. It cannot be the truth of the news person. It cannot be truth of the leader. It cannot be the truth of your best friend. It cannot be the truth of your parents. It cannot be the truth of your siblings. It cannot be the truth of anybody except for you. And yours is going to be perfectly imperfect. So as we go forward and as there's so many labels coming out and there's so many knowings coming in, that as we're going forward, that it is time for you to be aware that as you do life, Don't worry about the future. Worry about now. Care about now. Be the better you can be in the moment now. Do what you can do in this moment while you can. Because as you go forward in this world of yours, life is going to be what you make of it. As the world is being said that we live in a matrix system. Yes, you do live in a matrix system. So, how do you manipulate in a positive way your matrix system? Do you go into the story of this and that and that and this and this and that? Or do you contemplate what you truly want? This is the time to really believe in you. And emotions are part of the story. Emotions are part of who you are. You can be high one moment and low the next, and that is okay because it's called emotions. And that's why your soul chose to be on this planet at this time. Many of us wonder, why did my soul choose to be on this planet at this time? Because of the fact that it was going to be an extraordinary time for you to believe in you. The greatest thing you could do right now is believe in you. I know that I have been on this planet and witnessing it many, many centuries. And those centuries have been of different stories. Like this one right now is thinking of a time when she was in the Celtic times where she was in a battle with another country. At that time, it was called a state. Another state was part of that culture, and they were trying to come over. It's kind of like when the Romans tried to take over England and all those different places, right? They wanted to exterminate the people that were there so that they can be the greater person, but they wanted everybody to believe in their truth. This is a lifetime. This lifetime right now that everyone is in has been the best time for you to figure out what your truth is. Discern all these different truths and get your own, because there's no greater place for your own happiness but to be in your mind, your body, and your soul. Yes, your soul is a part of the bigger picture of who you are. It is around you. It's not in you. It is around you. It is way too big, my people, to be in you. It is around you and through you and in you and out of you. It actually helped your DNA to be what it is today. So, going forward, it is time for us all to believe in ourselves. So if you don't sit right with somebody else's truth, does that mean that you get to point the finger at them? No, because their truth is doing the same thing that yours is trying to figure it out. So it's time for you to believe in you and believe that even if you have a truth and the other person over here does not have the truth, same truth, it's okay. You can still be friends, because that is a full picture when you think about everybody that is around. It takes many different understandings and truths to make a circle be round. Because if you just had one truth, it would be just one spot, wouldn't it? So we need the full picture of where we're at to get a fuller picture of our life. Because if you have something that doesn't agree with you, you question yourself and then you get a stronger idea. And the person who says, I don't believe in you, they still question themselves naturally and they find a better truth for them. So, whenever you come against something that does not feel right with your truth, check in, because actually it's helping you gain your own truth. Oh, isn't that a miracle? Because we all start out as a miracle, and it's time for us to all believe. So, as you go through these emotions, and as you go through these stories, and as you go through these knowings, and as you go through these ups and downs, and as you go through this anxiety and the stresses and everything going on, that everything works out for the greater good. Just believe it. Like this dear one, when she's going to fly out, she was worried about leaving work early. Guess what? There's going to be a situation at her work that she can actually leave early, because if she stays through it, she would be later than her time that she needs to leave. So with this, miracles do happen. And now she gets to leave that 15 minutes early, which gives her enough time to see her husband before she flies out. This is going to happen in a couple of days, but it's all a miracle in how we set things up. But that's the thing, is people do not see those as miracles, and I love that this dear one does, because of the fact that as we go forward, it's synchronicity. So look for those synchronicities to know that you're in the right path. Look for those numbers that come up in your life, the 444s and the 333s and the 1111s and the 222s and the 111s and all those different numbers. They are telling you that you are in synchronicity with us, the universe, that you're paying attention, that you're actually awake in your world, and that's what's going to be the blessing. So remember, my people, my family, the children of the children of the children's of the children's, that you are a miracle, that you are here right now. And believe in you, and remember most of all that you are loved to the core of you. The perfectly imperfect part of you is still loved just as much as the one that stands in integrity. So be you as much as you can. Be the better you when you have the opportunity, and treat others as you would love to be treated, with kindness, support, and wisdom, that they have their own individual path. I want everyone to believe in themselves and remember that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, that there is magic in this world. I, Mother Mary, Mother of Jesus, Mother of the world, Mother of many, I support you. Call upon me to help you in these dances. Ask my son to come and help you in these dances. Ask the angels to come and help you in your dances. Ask the deities. Oh, Ganesh, he is so helpful. And everybody is so here to help you. It's time to believe in you, because we all have stories of life. We want to help you in yours. Blessed be on this journey, and know that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, you are the miracle of the time. I just love you. Blessed be. And remember, no matter what, life is not a straight line. Enjoy the ride. It's a valuable place to be. So be it. My love is with you. Wow. I hope that, wow. Woo! That was a ride. Okay. Coming back. I hope you enjoyed that message. I didn't hear all of it. I was in and out. So I hope that was very helpful for you. And remembering that no matter what you're doing and where you're at, life is a miracle. Life is a miracle. Okay, at this time of the show, I am going to pull some oracle cards. Does anybody want an oracle card reading? These are just basic oracle cards that are stories of different ascendant masters, animals. I knew, Veronica, you'd want one. Animals, the card post or guidepost to help. So let's see here, my dear. Okay, so Veronica, you would like one. Now remember that if I pull an oracle card for if I pull an oracle card for anybody, that if this message rings true for you, it was meant for you also. So this is meant for Veronica, but if it's meant, if you hear something that rings true for you, as all readings, somebody can glean something off of it. Okay, so Veronica, you got two cards here, two posts here. So you got protection and forgiveness. So when we have these moments where we're in a story, that remembering that it's all, the guidepost is the same post, it's just our different perceptions as we go down. So remembering that you do have protection, you are protected. Um, Ask your house angels. We talked about something earlier in our session. Ask the house angels to help you find what you're looking for. They will also help. I just got to hit that way. And forgiveness. So forgiveness is an amazing thing because we all go through a lot, and I know that you go a lot through a lot. We just had a session, so I'm a little bit cleaner on what's going on. That forgive yourself, my dear. You've been perfectly imperfect through this whole thing. Forgive yourself for marriage. Forgive yourself for how you've dealt with your parents. Forgive yourself for how you've dealt with your own health. Forgive yourself for who you are, because there is miracles in this world because you are protected. And there's one more that's coming to you. And life is the mystery. So as you walk forward, remember you will get guidance on which way to walk at that time when you have to make the choice, because you have protection in your life. So blessed be on that. Hope that helps, Veronica. Okay, is there anybody else on Instagram or anybody else who is watching that can would like a card? You're more than welcome, Veronica. Boy, the cards want to talk today. They really want to talk today. Talk today. Talk today. Okay, there's a card out for someone. What is the card that wants to be pulled for the bigger message? So what I'm doing is I'm just shuffling here. Then a couple cards that felt like they were ready to come, but then they said no. Oh, I'm not going to pull all of those. Nope. Don't shuffle out the back side. Okay, so this card wants to come out. So Spider. Spider is here. So what do you want to catch in your web? Spider represents the understanding that we have the ability to catch what we want. But remember, your thoughts create your life. Thoughts create your life. So as you walk forward, if you sit in misery and sadness and down, if you believe that life is full of crap and no good, what are you going to get into your web, and then what is it going to stick? So be willing to create more. So like I've always done gratitude. I've always had positive thoughts when I wake up and when I go to bed, but I'm really double checking in on that now and really being discerned out of what I want. I'm asking for miracles, and they're going to come to me in unpredictable and unknowing ways because it's not for me to control. So, and then be open to receive. Be ready to receive what the spider wants to give you, which is opportunities. What is it? And spider webs are usually up, or sometimes they're on the ground. So let it, whatever you need to catch, wherever it needs to be caught, spider can help you out. This is a journey, remembering, and every step we take leads us to the next step we're going to take. So when you're walking forward, what is your intentions? What do you want? Call in the specifics. I'm asking for a job that loves me, that honors me for who I am. I'm asking for the people who work in that job be willing and worthy of happiness. Be willing to go forward in our life, because of the fact that we're in the birth to rebirth process. Sometimes we have to go through the ringer to get through that the dash in the middle, the birth to rebirth process. That sometimes we have to be that dash and wait for the birth process to come in, because sometimes we have to take our foot off the gas pedal to be able to go forward. And like I had a friend who told me, Natasha, like I said, sometimes I feel like I have to have my foot on the gas pedal, because I have some negative stuff that I'm dragging along with me that I cannot change. I cannot change other people. But she said, Natasha, if you took your foot off the gas pedal and you didn't go so hard, you wouldn't be dragging anything, would you? So then that got me thinking, okay, momentum. But I do not have to put my foot on the gas pedal. Just keep doing. Do and be at the same time. Be in that birth to rebirth process because we have fire right now. We are in the energies of Gemini right now, which Gemini with this full moon, this full moon that's happening tomorrow is in Gemini. So that Gemini energy is about thinking. It's air energy. So it's about thinking. So you may overthink things. You might not think as easily about things. So check in with yourself about what you're thinking, because if you're thinking more negative, you're going to have a negative life. So be careful of who you are and what you're doing. And this fire energy is creative action, optimism. So stay optimistic as much as you can, because there are miracles happening in this world if you stay optimistic. And I have to get this card right here, because there is love all around us. We just have to tap into it. I know in the Northwest here, we're in spring, so everything's nice, green, and luscious, and there's a whole lot of love from Mother Nature. There's love when we look in the mirror, if we choose to look at it that way. There's love when we're with someone who we can trust. Believe in who you are. Believe in the magic that you are, because there is miracles in this world. And I want you to remember that. I'm Natasha Venter. I'm an intuitive medium. I see a seer of past lives. I love to support you in your life's journey. As at the beginning of the show, talked a little bit about my past lives. That's what I can do for you. So with that, as we go forward and into this new world of Gemini, this full moon, remember full moons are about releasing, and there's light because it's a full moon. So the releasing is about shifting up. What do we want to release in our life to be able to receive? So that could be the stuff in the house, that can be releasing emotions, that could be about releasing some old patterns, that can be about releasing. And know that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, that we're going to be perfectly imperfect about it. So the full moon might have a little bit of energy into it, and that's okay, because it's also coinciding with the energy of Gemini coming in. So don't overthink things. Trust the process a little bit if you can, and know that it's going to be perfectly imperfect, because today you have this much information. Tomorrow and the next week and the next year, you would have made a different decision, but you don't have that information yet. You only have the information you have right now to make the best decision you can. So believe in that decision. I'm Natasha Venter. You can catch me Wednesdays at 4:00. I also do a lot of weekly posts of supportive talk. I'm also my YouTube channel. Please like, share. If somebody could use this, please share it. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on all platforms, TikTok and everything. Natasha Venter, I see. But the most thing I want you to remember is your truth is your truth. I'm here to help you with a perspective and insights. And like somebody told me the other day, she said, Natasha, I've gotten more out of this conversation than I have with my counselor. I want to say I have love for everyone, because everybody deserves love somewhere in their life. And remember, miracles are happening. If you so choose to believe that even the simple dance of a rainbow dancing into your life is a miracle. Blessed be. I'm Natasha Venter, intuitiveclarifications.com.